Hello everybody, this is Word here, and I am back with another game from this Best of 7 Clan War between Clarity Gaming and XO Gaming. Let me introduce our players. Down here in the purple, playing Terran for the Team XO, he is xOSeither, the victor of the last match against Shu, and going up against him, playing under the barcode tag, is none other than cKC, the player for Clarity Gaming. Now, as I said earlier, guys, I'm going to be recording these videos using both Fraps and Audacity alternating. So the last game between Shu and xOSeither was recorded audio-wise using Audacity, and this game and the first game were both recorded using Fraps audio. And I know for a fact the Fraps audio is, lesser quality, but I do want to eliminate any crackling noises until I can fix Audacity. So please let me know in the comments whether the crackling was bad, because I just simply don't have time to watch everything I cast, so I'm not sure. So ideally, if the game interested you and you watched it, hooray. If you happen to pick up some audio feedback and can give it to me, that would be great as well. So please let me know your opinion on the audio in both sets of games. The next game will be with Audacity again, if I recall, in time to do it like that, but hopefully I'll announce it at the beginning. So, of course, this is a best of 7 Clan War, currently tied 1-1. The first team to 4 victories will win it. And right now, we see that cKC is opening up with a gas before racks, and this is pretty common opening in TVT, usually going to be for a cloakless Banshee, and it's actually one of the more common openings that I've seen. It's like either this or a gasless fast expand, not a whole lot in between that I've seen lately. It looks like xOSeither could be going for something along those lines with no gas dropped for him. Of course, xOSeither is playing for XO Gaming, and cKC, aka the barcode here, is playing for Clarity Gaming. Now we are going to see xOSeither coming out here to do a little bit of scouting, see what his opponent's up to. And since we don't have a wall here for cKC, he should be able to get in there relatively quickly, and once he clicks on that gas, he'll see, hey, you've been mining for a little bit. I think I know what's coming. It's probably going to be a cloakless Banshee. Unless he gets a second gas, that Banshee will remain cloakless, and he will move into an expansion while harassing. TVT is probably one of the more fun matchups. I think it's the best mirror matchup in my opinion. It's the most dynamic, and a lot of cool stuff can happen, and I think TVT played well is really, really cool. It's just very enthralling in my opinion. So hopefully we're in for some of those good TVT games. We are going to see the factory going up here for cKC. xOSeither is going to scout that, so he's like, okay, I think I know what's going on here. Ideally, that's what I assume he's assuming. But you know what assume does, so we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, he is going into that gasless fast expand, and we'll see what he decides to do. It looks like he is going to throw down 2 factories before 2 barracks here. Or not 2 factories, I'm sorry, 2 refineries. So he will be going directly into factory, which is where my train of thought was headed before it got switched over to the track a little bit too early, and then possibly right into tanks, or maybe into marine and medevac drops, maybe produce a few Hellions along the way. There's a large variety of styles. And he's actually going to come in here and see that the starport is constructing on that tech lab. And as I was saying, there's a large variety of styles in TVT, which is one of the reasons I like this matchup so much. You don't always know what to expect, but even when you do, it can be very hard to deal with, and it takes a lot of skill to play this matchup properly. So we don't see any add-ons on the factory here. He is going to be going directly for a Hellion. Of course, that can help very much with any marine pushes coming on, because you don't want to be caught with 1 Banshee against 5 Marines. Your scoot and shoot micro can be good, but it's probably not good enough to take on numbers like that when you're being attacked back at home. So we have the Hellion is going to be coming up here for cKC, going to get knocked away by those Marines, but he gets a confirmation on the bunker. If we take a look at his vision, he hasn't seen the command center, but of course at this point you can pretty much assume. And we are also going to see the factory coming up here for our purple Terran from XO Gaming as well. We have a reactor here on the barracks, so it looks like he'll be going probably directly into marine tank or marine medevac. He is operating off of 2 gas, so both of those choices are wide open to him. And here comes the cloakless Banshee. Looks like he's going to push with how many Hellions? 3 Hellions here as well, so this is going to be pretty heavy. Take a look at the SCV count. It is even for both of these guys, so no sacrifices in the economy department. But we'll see how much damage that cKC can lay down as he gets in position in front of the base. Of course, we have the bunker at the front, going to be really good at denying the Hellions and the Marines, but you do have to worry about the Banshee coming around the back and dealing damage to your SCVs while you're defending at the front. We do have 3 Marines in the back here. Should be enough to at least chase the Banshee away, but of course there's only 1 Marine in the bunker here. Now, cKC doesn't know that, and it might be enough to ward him away. Meanwhile, back at home, he is adding on a second gas, and he has given the tech lab to the factory, so it looks like he'll be going into a more normal Marine tank style, much similar to what xOSeither is doing. But here comes the Banshee. Looks like he's nabbed himself a kill. Has killed 2 SCVs so far, and he's going to try to get what he can. The Marines being pushed all around this base, but he's taken enough damage to the point where he won't be able to harass without fear of totally losing it. However, KC chose not to make this a two-prong attack. He had those units selected, but he did not quite go in. xOSeither, meanwhile, with a good defense, only losing 3 SCVs there. We see the SCV count is still even. Of course, this orbital command was up earlier, and therefore he was able to produce those SCVs. The command center just now finishing for KC, and if he wants to balance out this build, he really needs to do some good economic damage, or at least slow down the tech of his opponent. That is one benefit he has, that his tech is a little bit further along, but really at this point, xOSeither has completely caught up. And we see we're going to see a drop of Hellions and Marines in the main, but it's going to be quickly knocked away. We actually have a Viking out here for xOSeither as well. Very good defense from Exo's Terran as he manages to take out that medevac. It looks like the Viking, or not the medevac. I think he took out one of the medevacs. There can't have been more than one, though. I could have sworn I saw something explode. It must have just been a Hellion that was knocked away there on the low ground. Why don't we take a look at this medevac's health? Yeah, okay, that medevac just barely didn't die, so definitely did not lose the medevac there. However, it looks like xOSeither is getting in position to counter-push here. And how close is his siege? If we take a look here, it looks like only 20 seconds away, so at this point he's going to be able to put up a very effective contain. He is going to have to worry about this Banshee, though. Banshees are really good at breaking contains. Get out there, pick off the tanks while the Marines are out of position. Marine count pretty high here for xOSeither, but he does not have stim or combat shield or anything, so these Marines are very vulnerable. He is adding on a couple barracks back at home. We actually have a 3rd command center for KC, but here comes the engagement tank in a good position on the high ground. But these 2 tanks on the low ground should be able to start hitting that high ground once he gets vision. He should be bringing that Viking over. Yes, he does have it. Meanwhile, the Viking's going to pass each other. Viking for KC going to head over to xOSeither's base, at least to do a little bit of scouting, but maybe pick off a medevac on the way. We are going to see a reactor coming in for xOSeither. But it looks like that bunker was salvaged, and he is going to continue with this aggressive contain. A little bit out of range here. Scan going down for one of these players. Meanwhile, the Viking for KC. Where is that guy? And oh, looks like he is going to get picked off here in the center of the map. No, 5 HP left. KC having a lot of clutch units. 5 HP medevac, 5 HP Viking. The Banshee was pretty wounded as well, but she is fully repaired. xOSeither is rallied forward, and now he is going to return home, and we do see a 3rd command center coming down for him as well. The Banshee is starting to rack up a couple of kills down here in the natural. Now, one of those was a Marine, but it did pick off another SCV, and there's nothing back at home here to defend, so he's going to be working on these SCVs in the mineral line, and KC is pretty much safe at home now, so this is his chance to shine. Immediately picks off the SCV, building that supply depot. Tank going to come up here and try to cut the Banshee off. Not going to do too much, though. The Vikings are going to be another story, and one more volley from these guys will take that Banshee out, but they do have the same move speed. Nope, he does manage to target that down. Pick it off. Very nicely done there by xOSeither. So the harassment for KC has ceased at this point, and now xOSeither is going to push again. Now, did he scout that 3rd command center? That is a no, so he's not aware of quite what his opponent is up to. And of course, as a Terran, you don't necessarily need to land your 3rd command center right away. You can use it to produce SCVs. We see right now KC has a 12 SCV lead, having picked off quite a few workers with that Banshee, but now he might be moving out a little bit too soon. And oh, my flyer helpers are looking a little bit strange right now. Sorry about that, guys. I am not actually sure what the deal is with that, but it's kind of interesting. It looks like they're little puppets flying around, and there the flyer helpers are going to go away. Looks like I need to take a look at my graphics card in just a minute, but first, we will finish this game. xOSeither is setting up his contain again. It looks like the 3rd is getting prepared to be landed here for KC, setting up those refineries. The 3rd command center morphing into an orbital for xOSeither. Right now, the army supply in favor of the purple Terran by nearly twice the amount. The tank count right now is 5 to 5, so it's going to be very hard for either of these players to move in. Neither of them have stim or combat shield, but both of these upgrades are soon to finish here for xOSeither, and we are going to see a mech play from KC, as he has not gone for stim or anything like that, and his unit count is actually 5 tanks, 3 Vikings, and just a few Marines, those early Marines from when he early on got that barracks in the beginning of the game. So we'll be going into a mech style build, which I think is great on Ohana. It's very easy to move up, but it's very easy to lock down your three bases, which is pretty important as well, because you can generate a 200-200 army that is very powerful off of 3 bases. The base is going to land down here for xOSeither as well. 66 SCVs to 48, heavily in favor of the Terran from Clarity Gaming. If you take a look at the income there, you do see that reflected in those minerals and gas. Now, the flyer helpers have gone black again, but that is okay. And now the tank's just going to be moving around. So it's a very positional game, TVT. And oh, speaking of positions, those Vikings were out of it as they got picked off there in the center of the map. And now xOSeither is going to choose his time to shine. And